Let's go.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I am ready. All right. Welcome back to Is Not Top Scallop, episode 6 from Austin, Texas. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Christy from Baltimore, Maryland. And this is a conversation about Top Chef.
Absolutely. Let's conversate, Christy, my mate. Wow. What a show. What an episode. It's the product placement pizza party extravaganza.
Yeah.
Because who knew Canada is famous for the Hawaiian pizza?
I mean, I feel like, once again, what the fuck are we doing in Canada?
Mate, you beat me to it. To be honest, I didn't want to chew that line over again 6 times in a row. So thanks for taking that burden. Yeah, fucking Canada, whatever. Like, okay, I love that they did do a tenuous Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada, and so was sushi pizza. Sure. But this could have been filmed in a lot in LA, just the same.
The only thing that they couldn't have done in LA is go to Niagara Falls.
Which had absolutely no bearing on the show whatsoever, other than it looked like Massimo was maybe sucking down some spiritual energy.
and Vinny was kind of funny when they were on the thing, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Some of the FaceTime outfits have changed. Bailey gets a new look with a white and black, really out there leather jacket. It's kind of got like a cyberpunk feel / old school with a big gold pendant. Yep.
Yeah. I'm loving that. I'm loving that whole look on her.
No, I really love it too. This thing I would say, I worked out what it is about Bailey that throws me off. The tone of her glasses, it's got like a red tone to them, and just the way that the gradient is, from a certain angle, it makes her look like she's about to cry. And
I hadn't noticed that.
And I think that's what's like, yeah. But look. Yeah, I don't know why we're in Canada. It's stupid. It's tenuous. But thankfully, so much cooking in. I feel like this episode, if last week had a lot of narrative, this one had a couple of light skips of narrative and a lot of cooking.
Yeah. I do like that they kind of started out back in the stew room right after Katiana's elimination, and talking about that. And, Henry saying, that he feels like he's broken through whatever walls he's put up, and he feels like he's ready to really play the game.
Yeah, I love that too. I kind of got that same like, oh shit, here we go, telegraphing the big Henry turnaround edit, and we got that.
Then Vinny
was turn around and go home,
saying he was so embarrassed in front of the person he most wanted to impress this season, and I love that the
Tristan call out.
And he was kind and gentle about it. He was like, "Do you mind if I'm brutally honest with you?"
Yeah, bro, I'm about to let you know what's up.
Right. And he wasn't brutal about it.
For it.
He was just honest about it. Like, you have to stop cooking other people's food. Flex you. And I thought that was fantastic advice.
I'm not sure how connected my mentor died a few years ago, and I'm sad about it. Edit with Vinny was, but whatever, tell a story, get some emotion.
Yeah, I mean, the FaceTime, sometimes you need the story just to get the FaceTime with the person. I don't know.
For sure, yeah. They've got to make him cry. They've got to make him cry somehow. So, look, so much emotion, so much cooking. I agree with you. I thought Henry might really be on that bounce up, like... He gets the quick fire. He gets the like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do Chinese food. It's like, blah, blah, blah. He sort of feels like he gets that classic, I found my identity. I'm about to fucking launch.
Yeah.
And then the quick fire. And of course, alas, unfortunately, whatever else you say, a round-shaped rice bowl on a plate, however tasty, a pizza is not. And so he gets the quick fire bounce up, but bounces so far that he goes home. Of course, Tristan gets his next consecutive big bad boy win. I love that llama tune, however you say it. I love that pizza. And we'll get to that as we get to the elimination. But yeah, we used to eat that a lot in London.
Yeah, I've never had that, but it looks good. It sounds good.
It's amazing. Yeah, it is. When it's right.
I'm not really an anchovy fan.
I am.
But maybe anchovy ranch would be cool.
Are you a ranch fan?
I mean, yeah. Who
All
doesn't
right,
like ranch? It's America.
this is true. All right, and scallops, obviously we have got to address the pizza issues, but I think let's go through the quickfire first because that's obviously a non-pizza
Yeah.
related quickfire. And we'll
So,
deal with all the heavy pizza controversy topics in a moment.
yes.
So put a
Yeah.
pin on that, scallops. We'll be there. As for the quickfire, I don't know about you, mate, but what were your first impressions when you see it? You see the dirty dishes stacked up. You know it. You know what it is, right? You know it's coming.
Product placement,
Product placement. Yeah, it's always
you
going to
know?
be. It's always going to be something like that. To be honest, if they're giving away 10 grand a fucking episode, someone's got to be ponying up that 10 G's.
Sure. This one bothered me particularly because I don't know about you, but I've never put a dirty fucking lasagna pan in the dishwasher and had it come out clean no matter what detergent you use. It doesn't happen. Not only that, plumbers fucking love people who do that because it's going to gum up all your, water lines and shit like that. So plumbers love you if you do that stupid shit. And number two, the food just kind of bounces all around in there and then it gets stuck to everything else.
Sure, you end up with a clean, greasy dishwasher. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I wash my dishes before I put them in the dishwasher, basically.
Same.
The dishwasher is to sanitize. But
So
you
my
can't put stuff in
mother-in-law's
that's stuck on.
No, my mother-in-law is a psychopath about that. She'll wash everything before she puts it in the dishwasher. I'm like, rinse it off. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. I don't need to wash everything with soap before I put it in to wash it with soap. I don't mean that. I mean rinse all the crap off of it so that it's not stuck on it.
Yeah.
That's
but anyway, yeah, so I did the same thing. I looked at it, I'm like, oh, look, there's a bunch of dirty dishes. It's going to be a fucking dishwasher detergent challenge. In the end, I do actually like the conception of the challenge. It's like riff on a thing, but like for real, it's like so
It was forced.
so cheesy. It's just, and you can see like as soon as they show it, I'm like, I'm starting to have this waking nightmare of like, oh no, please don't like make the chefs do some fucking dishwasher thing or something where they have to like do something with the sponsor product.
Yeah.
You
Well, and
know?
I mean, I watch this on Peacock, and so almost every single commercial while you're watching this is a Finnish dishwasher thing where you've got previous top chefs like Amar hawking these dishwasher tabs, which also those plumbers fucking love
Yeah, I
because
hate
that
those things.
plastic gums up everything too. It doesn't really go down the drains. And my house is 83 years old, so I have to be very, very careful about what actually goes down
What goes in the
any of the
pipes?
drains.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I've even had like the main water line and sewage line to my house replaced at some point because it just needed to be done.
Yeah, I did that too. I did that myself.
I did not. We paid people.
Yeah, I dug the fucking hole. It was too expensive
But
to pay
yeah,
people. I just did it.
this particular one just annoyed me because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
None of
first
it's
it was like Finnish has scientifically determined. I mean, they didn't. To be fair, they didn't say scientific, but Finnish has determined the 10 toughest stains in America. What? Are we in an 80s fucking infomercial? Really? What are the? Have you got? I want to see your source. Like, is there evidence? What's the study? You did an actual scientific study, and then I want you to use the stains as inspiration, but we're not going to tell you what it is. You have to just like sniff it. No, no. So I also don't know if you noticed, but right when Kristen Kish says, okay, come up and grab one, I know that every single boy watching and probably plenty of chicks looked up in a weird, guilty moment. I don't know if you caught this, and I don't know if your scallops at home caught this, but the musical, like, whatever, the musical effect that goes over the top of it, it starts out so close to the Pornhub sound. And it's like the ba-dum-dum-dum or whatever it is, and I'm like, Oh no, no, not Pornhub, not here, not no. Okay, no, haven't time slipped. Haven't time slipped. I'm not watching porn in front of people. I'm not. Okay, cool. Maybe
Personally,
it's me.
never visited Pornhub. I'm not saying that I haven't
No, me
seen.
neither. No, no,
Yeah,
me neither.
yeah.
I never have either. No, I never have either. I don't
I mean, I'm not
strictly.
shaming anybody. Watch all the
No,
porn you want. Porn is kind of awesome in some situations. I mean, yeah.
but yeah, it's
But
just
I don't know the Pornhub song.
it has like a yeah. There's like a track that comes on. I'm not gonna do it, but everyone knows what it is, and that track was kind of like it, and it made me think, oh god, Pornhub. But no, it's good. Okay.
Awesome.
So I was wondering whether that would be like, oh yeah, for sure. Like I know that totally. I'm always flicking the bean to that for sure. But yeah. So you're one of the chicks that didn't get it, but I can guarantee that every single boy that's ever watched Pornhub just suddenly went "Huh?" for a second.
I'm sure that they did.
But anyway,
Well, and then the only Canada thing about the quickfire is Eden Grinchpan.
we forgot to even. My bad. We did not go over Eden Grinchpan. Grinchpan. What the fuck is the name?
I actually
Apparently.
grew up with a family whose last name is Grinspoon, but Grinchpan, never seen Canadian Top Chef
No, me neither.
because they
I
don't
don't care.
they don't have it down here, and I'm not going to get a VPN so that I can.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see the shows from some other countries. I'd love to do that, but yeah, I mean, she's lovely.
Yeah, she's definitely lovely. And she has got nice hair.
Yeah,
I don't know if I agree with our boy Massimo in saying that some of the nicest hair in Canada is under one roof. It's good, but it's not like stunning, and neither's his. His is a solid 7. But let's be honest. Same with hers. I think hers was a 7. So anyway,
nice hair.
I think I do. Like I said, I do kind of like the level of creativity. It's open. This challenge, a little bit like the previous quickfire. It's very open. They all had an opportunity to be like, choose this original dish and then go and do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Yeah. So it's not like everybody here's what we want every single person to do with this one thing. They all
Right.
had
It's not like
something
make
different.
a poutine. Yeah, make a poutine. Go and do that. Everyone has to do a version of poutine. This is like, do something. Cook us food.
Which, just a side note, have you watched any of The Dish with Kish?
So every time I try to, I get the first episode with Brooke Williamson, and I want to throw bricks at the television because I fucking can't stand Brooke Williamson. So I haven't ever actually sat through it. Apparently the rest of them are quite good.
The one with Sarah,
what's her name, one is really
do
good. Yeah.
poutine, and that one turned out really good. And I'm like, oh, I would fucking eat that. Hell yeah. So yeah.
All right, next time I'll do my homework and actually watch that. I promise. Because apparently it's good. I love Kristen Kish. Like I said, I fucking hate Brooke Williamson.
I mean, we can't like everybody.
No, I don't like everybody.
Not everybody likes
maybe
me.
everybody doesn't like me. Yeah, that's okay.
I know I'm not for everybody,
So yeah, look, the only thing I would say on the balance of it all, again, a bit like last week, it felt to me like maybe they didn't go as creative as they could. They all sort of stuck a little bit to, like, even Paola's like, I can't do lasagna in 30 minutes. I was like, you're not supposed to do lasagna. You're supposed to use lasagna as your inspiration. And then she tries to do lasagna.
I mean, it was a good idea. I mean, if it's going to be your inspiration, I kind of think it should be something layered.
Sure, if that's what you're doing. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, she just did lasagna with poorly executed squash instead of pasta.
Yeah. And then why waste time making vegan ricotta when you can just go grab ricotta out of the refrigerator?
Right, you weren't told to make a vegan dish, and you're not getting points for making shit out of cashew nuts, and it's not as good. It's never going to be the same as regular cow milk ricotta. So I agree with you. Why do it? That was silly. But again, not to be that guy, but I feel like it's very Paola.
Yeah, well, and then like Vinny made eggs Benedict,
which I love. Listen to me, I love eggs Benedict. It's one of my favorite things. But I have had eggs Benedict 7 million times at 7 million different cafes on 5 continents. This is not, you have to do a Benny that's like,
It's got to be out of this fucking
right.
world.
You got to do something pretty fucking serious with a Benny for it to be like the thing. And he doesn't. He does a textbook. Like, I didn't even need to taste it. I can see it. You just look at it. It is a textbook way to highlight the egg with a Benedict. It's perfect. Oh, I did it on challah bread to make it more eggy.
I'm
Cool.
just not seeing a whole lot of Vinny's imagination. I'm not sure that he has much.
Look, what we've got this whole, we got a turnaround story on Vinny as well. And we get the turnaround story, but he doesn't fucking turn around.
Yeah.
He's the same guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The most interesting thing that Vinny did during the quick fire was offer to marry Tristan.
Be quizzical as to why he didn't win with a classic textbook Benny. Like, I just don't think he's actually that imaginative.
Which is kind of sad because, I don't know. I mean, he's worked at some fantastic places. You have to have skills, but having the skills to do something and being able to be top of your game are two different things. You have to have more than just the skills. You've also got to be able to think outside the box.
Yeah, Top Chef requires a creative agility in order to win.
Exactly. And then you also have to be really smart, like Tristan, knowing you can't make fucking rice in 30 minutes unless you use a pressure cooker.
Back it in the pressure cooker, and you're not making sushi rice, you're making jollof rice.
Right.
So
and
that's
you're
great
not
for that
making
texture.
risotto, you know, like that's probably the best rice of any quick fire.
Yeah, I bet you're
in
right.
Top Chef history.
Speaking of rice, I was really sad for Shuai. Not sad, but I feel like the dish that Shuai made, I've never seen those rice cakes handmade before.
At the H Mart.
Yeah, I think we talked about them last week even. Or the week before.
Sometimes I'll buy the bagged ones. I don't buy them frozen. I buy the bagged ones, but sometimes when I go, they have freshly made ones.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I haven't seen them. But I fucking love those little, you're talking about the little Korean ones, right? That's like,
yeah, and I love exactly what Shuai said, because when I've tried to explain them to people, I've been like, it's like Korean gnocchi. And he says it's like making...
It's chewy and
but he says it's like making gnocchi.
Yep. I bet you that was a absolutely stellar cheese fest. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it looked a little too cheesy to me.
Yeah, right. That might have been it. They were like, oh, cheesy.
I wonder if there was anything else in it that would have brought something different to the plate, like maybe some Worcestershire or, you know, some kind of other flavor in there besides just cheese.
Yeah. So the mac and cheese that I've settled on doing, you make it with sodium citrate, and it makes the cheese emulsify differently. It doesn't break into oil and protein. And so you can use less cheese and no bechamel to make the mac and cheese sauce. And so it ends up, you can kind of get that cheesy taste without it being a gut bomb.
Okay, cool. I've not mastered homemade macaroni and cheese.
You should definitely look into sodium citrate. Everyone should look into sodium citrate. It's one of the things that came out of that molecular gastronomy moment that was actually good and useful instead of stupid and gimmicky.
Yeah, agar and everything.
Agar and fucking olive oil pearls. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Massimo, you know, he gets the lean in. He does a smart thing. I love those kind of ricotta gnocchi that he makes.
Yeah.
And it's a good sort of, it's a bit of a sideways leap. Like, he doesn't do the tomato sauce that he would have gotten from the pan or whatever, but he does a good tomato sauce. So it's
I mean, there's only so much you can do in 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I think he really jammed in the idea of like a super quick pasta. That worked out really good. Same with Henry. I feel like I totally back this win. I love those kind of chewy, semi-sweet glutinous rice balls filled with sesame and and whatever. Like,
Yeah, that
yeah,
that looked amazing. I thought it was really creative use of oats.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
he got oatmeal, which like, just to be clear, as far as I'm aware, I've been in America for almost a decade and a half. Oatmeal, porridge, same thing. We say porridge, you say oatmeal,
I believe so, yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I think that I probably would have tried to make some kind of like savory oatmeal.
I would have, yeah.
Um, but what he did was way better than anything I would have come up with.
No, I couldn't have done that. I don't know how to make those things.
Yeah, I don't either,
But
but that looked really, really good.
yeah, yeah, agreed, fully agreed. And the Tristan, same thing. The jollof rice. I don't know if I've ever had jollof rice before, but I know what it is. It's that yellow. It's like a biryani type thing. I think.
Yeah, I've not ever had jollof either. I want to find like a Ghanaian or Nigerian restaurant
That's the
and go
move? Yeah.
have that like made authentically.
It's like
Um,
African paella, right? Is the vibe?
I believe so, but traditionally I think it's made with goat.
Yes. Oh yeah, I love goat. I'm down on the goat.
I've never had it, but I want to try it.
It's like, have you ever had hogget or mutton?
No.
Like real sheepy sheep, lamb,
But
like real sheepy tasting sheep. Yeah, goat's a bit like that. It's like more. It's not as sheepy tasting, obviously, but it's got like a real
gamey.
goaty. It tastes like goat. I mean, that's all I can say is it tastes like goat. You
Yeah.
know. But yeah,
I mean, it looks
I totally
good.
back this. I totally back this win. I think Hank with the chewy glutinous balls. I don't think that just looking at the two and understanding the two in terms of like, or the three that were on the top of the three at the least, Henry does the most away from what he got. Right, so he gets oatmeal and he goes, okay, cool. What can I do that's oats but fully fucking different? He
Sure.
does that. He drops
Yeah.
that in beautifully, gets his 10 grand. The other two, Tristan saw the yellow fluffy rice, did a yellow fluffy rice. Really good one, apparently. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Massimo, same thing. Got a tomato sauce. He did a nice ricotta gnocchi tomato sauce. Cool, great, done.
Yes.
But Henry's, yeah, definitely a cut above. And at this point, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's I can't really like him. And he's from Houston, or he's in Houston, so he's my guy. And I'm thinking, this is where I'm getting that whole like, he's on the bounce up. I want to see what he does in the elimination.
Absolutely. He just won $10,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But then we have like Paula. We knew that her lasagna was going to fail.
she knew her lasagna was going to fail.
Exactly. When she delivered it
And she's like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Cesar with the salmon and coffee.
Salmon cappuccino. What are you doing, my beautiful prince? Oh,
I mean,
he said
not
it.
everything.
He's like, how did you get there? How did you come to salmon and coffee? He's like, it felt right. Like, all right. I didn't feel that.
Okay,
I
cool.
didn't feel that. I don't think I would ever feel that.
But then I was a little bit upset for Bailey because Eden said she really wanted to get guacamole from her dish, but it felt like avocado was the star. Excuse me.
What the fuck is the star of guacamole?
Thank you. Avocado is the fucking star in guacamole.
Yeah, what do you want?
What?
More lime, more tahini, more vinegar, like lemon
Right.
juice? What do you want? What do you want? Like, nah, agreed. Okay, I thought she got shanked on that one.
100%.
Because they said it's a really good salad. Because like, oh, it's a really good salad, and it's like, if she called it guacamole salad and put a corn chip in it, fuck, maybe it would have. Maybe that's all it needed, eh? Maybe it needed corn chips.
Maybe.
The thing, yeah, I just the note that I wrote for Paola was she makes a dish that I would expect from a newly vegan high schooler trying to prove that vegan food can be good.
And she doesn't execute it well.
No, and she fails. Yeah, she completely, which is what you would expect from a newly vegan high schooler who's like, no, fuck you, vegan food's great. I'm going to make you the best vegan lasagna you've ever had. This is a sloppy mess.
I've had vegan lasagna. I've had really good vegan lasagna. But yeah, this wasn't doing it.
I was dating a vegan for a minute recently, and I loved cooking vegan food for her. We made vegan lasagna. It was fucking great. But you still have to cook it properly. You still have to do it right. Otherwise, it's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the salmon cappuccino. Guy. I mean, he could have done any... What do you have? You have coffee.
There's a lot
So
you
what the
could do
fuck
with
are you
that.
choosing salmon?
Yeah.
What comes into you? Okay, Christy, let me just ask you. Let me put you on the spot as though this were a quick fire. You have coffee. What comes into your head that you could do with coffee?
I would probably use the coffee grounds in a rub on like a skirt steak
Like
or
a
something.
skirt steak, a pork
Not the
loin,
most
a
creative
pork...
thing, but
Fuck
that's
no,
the
but
first
you...
thing that
No,
came to
no, no,
mind.
mate.
And
If
it's
you do
also
a
not
coffee...
salmon.
You do a coffee brown sugar rub on a pork loin, sear that bitch
Maple
up,
sugar to make it Canadian.
fucking boom. Exactly. But,
A little spice in there somewhere.
okay, and let's say you don't want to do pork or skirt steak. Fine. What else could you do coffee on? Actually, probably do some pretty interesting things with coffee and some root vegetables, like, a turnip or a daikon, something like
Sweet
that. I'm seeing that.
potato.
Sweet potato, shut the front door. That sounds great. Like a sweet potato with a coffee crumble. Love that. You could make anything sweet. You have 30 minutes. You could make a dessert. You could make a meringue. You could make a whipped cream. You could make all sorts of stuff for
Banana
coffee.
pudding with coffee something.
Think of all the incredible sweet items you can make with coffee that no one else is doing. Because if you get yellow fluffy rice, oh no, if you get yellow fluffy rice, you probably still could make it sweet. But like, yeah, it just, it was such a wrong move. Like,
But
why? Why are you choosing seafood?
because there was a dish at one of his restaurants that he's worked at with salmon and coffee oil. So again, instead of thinking of something, now, not again for Cesar, because he's been really outside the box.
For sure. Yeah.
But he's almost taking a note from Vinny and going, I'm just going to make, something that I
already sort of know. Yeah.
Exactly. So it...
Look, and Tristan, that's how Tristan, and we'll get to this when we get to the elimination, because this is how Tristan has been cooking the whole time. It's the same way. Tristan and Vinny have been cooking the exact same way. They've been reaching into their past to find the things to bring to the show. It's just that Vinny has been reaching into the past in a literal sense. Like,
I don't
what
think
dishes
Tristan's been doing that.
No, he has. Every single dish that he's done, he's got like I did this thing, or I learned this thing, and now I'm incorporating what I learned into this execution.
But I think that rather than making the exact same thing, he's flipping it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And Vinny's just like making the same fucking thing that he's already made before. Whereas Tristan is like, here's the idea, but let me make it better. Let me,
I used to work
do
for this
something.
thing, and I learned this dish at this place,
Mm-hmm.
and I made it, and it was good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. So
now we get to...
We've done the dishes. To be honest, if anything, it was a bit of almost a letdown. It's like a bit of a blur challenge. Like, nothing much really. I didn't come out of this going, oh wow, that was fucking cool. I want to make some of these things. Like, oh, I'm inspired. It all was just like, okay, yep, the right people won and the right people lost. That's fair.
And the only thing Canadian about it was Eden Grinchpan.
And her beautiful hair.
Yes. So then they go to the elimination challenge. Bring in Wiley Dufresne, which fantastic.
Amazing.
Spike Mendelsohn, who he wasn't my favorite when he was on the show before.
He definitely had a really snarky, unlikable dickhead.
Yeah, it was like he was trying to
vibe.
fucking pick at people and,
Yeah, he wasn't a bully or mean or anything, but he was that kind of guy who eventually, if you're on the camping trip with, by the third day, you want to pull him aside and say, listen, behave yourself or I'm going to slap you.
I was thinking, behave yourself or I'm going to throw you in the fucking fire. But, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Either way, I'm not going camping with you. Yeah, but there's two things that I noticed here. Wiley Dufresne is ageless. He has not really aged at all.
Just a different haircut.
It might be because even when he was younger, he looked a bit like a science experiment anyway, and so you like
I
aged
think when
into
he was
that.
younger, he looked old already.
Right, right. Whereas
Yeah.
Spike Mendelsohn definitely had that like skinny young New York guy with the hat,
And
and
now he's all gray and
now he's a chubby silver fox. Yeah, yeah.
which I mean, I get it. Spike owns a pizza
He's a
place.
pizza guy. Yeah,
So yeah, I understand that. Um
and they're both in New York, so they're both down the street.
yeah. Yeah. But they tie it into Canada
With the
with the fucking Hawaiian pizza.
Hawaiian pizza invented by a Greek
Who
who was
usually
cooking
makes
Chinese food.
I made
Yeah,
that
sure.
note too.
Totally. Fucking whatever.
Yeah. And I'm not a pineapple on pizza gal.
All right, this is the time to deal with this. This is it. This is where we have to really
It's a
before we talk about
polarizing
this.
ingredient.
Before we talk about this challenge, before we talk about the chefs, we need to talk about pizza and the rules, the acceptable things and the unacceptable things. Growing up in Australia, I didn't realize that pineapple on pizza was even a controversy. We just do it. Same with seafood on a pizza. It's not weird at all. You can get a prawn pizza or a calamari pizza at
Yeah,
all sorts of places.
I've seen some seafood on pizza. And living in Maryland, of course, there's always going to be someone who makes
seafood
a
on shit, right?
crab
Yeah,
pizza.
someone's putting crab on it. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
We put crab and Old Bay on everything here. So yeah, that's not controversial to me at all. I just don't care for pineapple and tomato together.
I don't understand why, because it's so good. This
Well,
is one of the great
I'm not going to
age-old
yuck
battles.
your yum. If you enjoy it, have at it. More for you. I'll get something different.
Is it acceptable to order the pineapple pizza and have you guys pick the pineapple off? Or is at that point it's tainted
No.
and I can't? Right. Tainted. Okay.
Mm-mm.
So
We just each get our own pizza, which is fine. Because then we can take home leftovers.
Love that. Yeah, we can agree to disagree. Let's be civil at the pizza parlor for sure. Thing is though, I don't understand. It seems like in America it's really divisive. Pineapple on pizza, pineapple not on pizza. The other thing that I think is maybe less divisive, but also super fucking weird to the rest of the world, ranch. Ranch in general is a weird thing, but ranch for your pizza? I was blown away. When I remember it clearly, I was in Oregon with the Texas roller derby team,
Mm-hmm.
and we had finished for the weekend, and we all went to go and get pizza together and hang out and tell each other how great we all were. And the one girl, her name was Pumpkin, and the one girl was like, "Oh, can I get a side of ranch?" I'm like, "Oh, fuck, you want that for? You having a salad?" And she gets the pizza and dips it in the fucking ranch. I'm like, stop. That's perverse. Stop. That's unacceptable to dip pizza in salad dressing. And she's like, well, bro, you fucking tried this before? I'm like, no, I have not. I'm just telling you it's wrong before I even know anything about it. She said, jam this in your face hole and tell me what you think. And I did, and have been a ranch pizza convert ever since.
Awesome.
Fucking love it. What a combo.
I see no reason not to dip your pizza crust in it. That's always a good idea. I don't put ranch on pizza for the most part, but if it's like a buffalo chicken pizza, absolutely. I'm not a blue cheese person. So if I'm doing buffalo anything, it's going to be with ranch. And I love the idea of, a buffalo chicken pizza with ranch on it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds fucking great. Yeah, but look, and again, the nice thing about pizza is, okay, you might not like ranch, you might not like pineapple, you might not like meat lovers, you might not even like fucking bread, but pizza is fucking great.
I mean, pizza, you just... My husband compares it to sex. Even if it's bad, you had
good.
pizza.
Yeah, you still had pizza. Yeah. Yep. definitely. I've probably had more. Have I had more bad pizza than bad? Yeah, probably more mediocre pizza that I enjoyed than mediocre sex that I enjoyed.
Good for you.
But yeah, yeah. Lucky. Um, the thing is, I also really like this challenge, right? The limits to the challenge were what, or the rules, the way that I saw it was make a pizza that pushes the limits, that starts a conversation. And I think, did any of them really push the limit?
Sure.
No? You think?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, um I love what Tristan did. I love the idea of that because it's not something that you would typically see, at least in the US.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second because I think that might be just a cultural thing. It looks to me like he made a pretty regular version of that lamajun or whatever you call it. But we can deal with that in a second. Yeah, I mean, look, this could be anything. It doesn't have to be a risen dough pizza. Obviously with the weird shoehorn from Akira Kurosawa or whatever with the fucking sushi pizza, that was a weird fucking. Oh, and also there's a sushi pizza,
Yeah,
which was sort of stupid. But um, again, I feel like there was more left on the table here. There was opportunities for doing more interesting shit than anyone really did. But
I
I
really
still made a
think
good
that
pizza.
the budget was a big thing.
Obviously,
They could have done so
yeah.
much more if they had had a bigger budget. Feeding 70 people on $250,
Yeah, I didn't want.
it's not a lot. No. Even if it's going to be small portion sizes because there's 9 things that they're going to be tasting, that still really just makes it difficult, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
And in this, and in the same, it sort of is the structure of this challenge that is a bit interesting in the bad way. Like it's the structure of this challenge that fucks them a little bit. So obviously Henry runs out of flour, and it's sort of, to me, it's like, why did they have to buy their own? Like, surely you would think the flour would be something that you would be allowed to get from the Top Chef pantry because
yeah,
you
like
could use a fuck ton of
flour,
flour.
oils, salt and pepper, there should be some things that were a given.
Yeah, because Henry fucks up his dough that it doesn't rise overnight, which, you know, that sucks. But so he's like, I don't have enough flour. Whatever could I do? And it's like, well, that sort of sucks for you because you made a shopping mistake that sends you home in the end.
I mean, he's not the only person who's ever done that, though. It
Sure.
happens
Top
like
Chef.
every season it happens. That's part of the challenge is making sure that you get everything you need. And it
And he
wasn't
doesn't pivot
even,
well.
but it wasn't even a group challenge where he can like blame someone else and be like, well, they took all the budget for their fucking thing. And so I didn't have enough to do mine. Um, so yeah, I
And
don't know.
just when we thought we couldn't have any more product placement crammed down our throats. Hey, BMW. Hey, BMW. Hey, BMW. Hey, BMW. Fuck off.
Hey, BMW, take me to Whole Foods.
Yeah, no.
You got a double whammy there.
They did take us to Niagara. That was cool. Seeing the guys dressed in majestic garbage bags.
Now, I've been on the Maid in the Mist. Apparently,
Is that the same vibe?
that's exactly what they were
You
doing.
just drive the boat up to the waterfall and then go home?
Yeah, the whole, a private cruise. I would be so fucking let down. Granted, it's cool, but
Oh, if someone sold you a private cruise and you ended up on that boat
yeah,
getting wet wearing a garbage bag,
yeah,
getting wet.
yep,
Yeah, for sure.
that is not a cruise, not at all. And it was, I mean, apparently when I went, it wasn't that windy. The waves weren't that bad. Yeah, you get soaked. And they do give you, I don't know, I think that the ponchos that I was wearing back then were not super thin disposable ones. Which that just upsets me on an, ecological level,
Yeah, sure.
environmental level.
Tons and tons of those orange garbage garbage bags are going directly into the
I hope
trash.
that they're at least recycling them, but whatever. It was thicker ponchos that they would reuse. And it was a really cool experience. Um, but
It looks fucking spectacular.
it is, it is. And I love Vinny, who's like, and how is everyone enjoying their Top Chef experience while they're out there getting soaked?
Getting drenched. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got before we get into the meat of the elimination? I like that Cesar's chat with his mum. He's such a nice boy.
Yeah, he seems super sweet.
But I feel like his edit today, definitely a bit of a downhill slope.
Yeah.
Vinny also reveals that he's gonna par cook. He's gonna par cook the pizzas and then finish them all off, which feels a bit weird to me. I don't know if you caught that or if that made any sense.
I caught it. I'm not sure how that would work.
Yeah, same. So you cook them a bit and then you cook them later, or?
I don't know. I mean, I wonder if it's like when you buy a frozen pizza, is the crust kind of par cooked?
I believe so. Yeah.
So
that's what we.
So maybe
that's what's
yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah, I don't know.
It seemed like it just seemed like a less good option. And I'm like, I wonder if anyone else is doing that. And no. But the other thing it looked like while they're cooking, no one gets to try their pizza. No one's like, oh, I tried it and I've got to change this. It seems like they're just making them and then banging them out.
A couple of people
They did?
made testers.
Okay. We didn't get any kind of edit of them going, it's this, but it needs this. I heard a couple of people talking about test batches, but so they must have. But
yeah, I think a couple of people did some testers. Cesar should have. I mean, I've watched enough Great British Bake Off to know that putting cocoa powder into a pastry or a crust of something is not going to work. Number one, it makes it difficult to determine when it's cooked because it's already a dark color. Yeah. And then number two, it does tend to burn faster. So
it's also it also changes the pH. I think cocoa is quite alkaline or acid or something. And
I'm not really sure, but
the whole pH of the bread. Yeah.
Yes, this kind of thing is more sciencey than just like let's throw a dash of this and a dash of that. When you're making a dough, it's got to be, like they all ran in Whole Foods for the flour because they wanted to get, the 00 flour,
the Tipo or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Again, I think it sucks that they had to do that. I feel like they should have just given them the good flour and whatever. So and. We're sort of skipping to the end, but there was also, I don't know if you caught it, but there's this beautiful moment when they're talking about the winner, I think, and Spike and Wiley Dufresne are like holding hands at the table. It's like, oh, that's so fucking cool.
I thought that was cute.
Like a little bromance moment. They're like, oh, pizza love. Yeah,
now, cool. As far as Henry killing his yeast, I don't understand how he didn't know that, because anytime I've ever bloomed yeast, number one, I take the temperature of the water because I'm not trying to kill the yeast.
Because I fucked that up before, yeah, same.
Yes. And then number two, you can see it starting to foam up and activate and
we obviously we didn't
see that at all with anyone.
Paola. Yeah, no, I think Paola might have given us a little thing because it's the milk and sugar, the levadura, as she says. And, obviously that doesn't work so great for her. But yeah, it's, whenever I make dough, which is like yeast dough, which is, to be honest, not very much because I don't make a lot of bread. And if I'm going to make something like, I just don't make a lot of stuff like this, I guess. But I brewed a lot of beer when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, there is that thing where it is a rookie mistake to be like, oh, my dough didn't rise. I must have killed it.
Yeah, you did, clearly.
Like, how did that happen? That guy owns a restaurant.
It shouldn't be some great mystery.
Yeah. Like, he owns a fucking restaurant. You should be able to make bread.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. You might not be able to make the best pizza dough. You might overwork it. You might fuck it up. You might make shit pizza. But you should be able to make a yeast dough if you own a restaurant. You right? Like,
Or I mean, if it really didn't rise, then just roll it out and make flatbread.
he did. Okay. And this is the second time, the last episode when he had to pivot when his shit got thrown away. Okay. Forgive him for not pivoting really well.
He had
Because
less than 10 minutes to figure that
it
shit
was
out.
super
And,
hard. Yeah, it was
and no
uphill
ingredients
battle.
left.
Right.
If he
right.
had ingredients left, everybody on his team could have just been like, bam, 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 let's bang this out. But, I mean, and you
But there's
can't pickle something in 10 minutes either, really.
There's two things that old boy's talking about here, right? Pho rice pizza with pho brisket, herb pesto, and hoisin sriracha aioli is what it's sold as. It ends up being a round steak tartare with herbs. Ouch. It's a failure to pivot, right? It's a failure to sort of say, because I think he's talking about like using that. He's like, I want to do pho, but like it's like with the dough serving as the noodles of the pho, and then that's the pizza, pho pizza. Okay, cool.
But where's the cheese in that?
Right.
I don't think that I would want cheese on pho, but
no thanks.
But I feel like you need cheese for pizza.
Or you need some sort of element like a sauce element to bring it together if you're not doing cheese. I'm okay with no cheese on a pizza if it's the right topping.
Yes, I'll agree. But another thing with the idea of doing a pho pizza, it didn't work with this budget. There's so much that goes into pho.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like you need all of the herbs, you need the bean sprouts, you need the lime, you need all of the aromatics that go into creating the pho broth. I just don't think that it worked with the budget. I think that it was a good idea, but I think that he needed to do something different.
Agreed. I fully agree. And that's, you look at Shuai with his scallion pancakes. It's the smart version of that same sort of, it's a similar-ish sort of idea, is to like take a thing and make it different. But he does it right. I think there's a couple of things that I was
this is actually the second time Shuai has done that. He's but he's done it both times, and it's been a good application for the scallion pancake.
For sure.
And so, yeah, Henry's pivot wasn't great. Going to the sushi rice. I
feel like he missed a real opportunity with the sushi rice to do it on the pizza stone. I feel like if he'd done it on the pizza, in the pizza oven, that it might have crisped up better.
Or take the rice, blitz it into a flour. And I know you're not going to get a rise on it, but you could do some kind of like a flatbread or something.
To be honest, given the pivot that he's like, I've got rice in my bag, so I'm going to do sushi pizza. I'm with you. I feel like that, that will probably, like making a rice flour, making a flour out of that probably would have been the most expedient, intelligent thing to continue with what he was trying to do. I feel like you could also have used, and you could maybe have done it this way with the rice flour, he's like, an opportunity there to use the slippery pho noodles. You know the like thick, slippery noodles that you get with pho?
Yeah, but he said instead of the noodles, it'll be the pizza crust. So he didn't have
Right.
noodles.
I'm like, why wouldn't you have just like somehow incorporated that noodle, like done the sushi pizza, but with the rice noodles and worked out how to do a
he
kind
didn't
of...
have them.
No, but this is what I'm thinking in the first place. Like,
Okay.
He's like, I'm making a pho pizza, but I'm going to use pizza dough. It's like, well, why don't you just go all the way and use those slippery noodles and use the noodles as a base? Because there's a ton of ways you can do that.
Sure, yeah.
And then go on top with the pho topping. I feel like that would have been a blowaway situation, but it wasn't.
I support that.
While we're on the bottom, Cesar, it sounds like he's like, I want to do cocoa and that's the things I'm doing interesting. But
a mole on pizza, great idea. He didn't need to put the cocoa in the pizza dough. But maybe he just didn't know that cocoa in dough is not a great idea.
I didn't. I wouldn't have.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he didn't know that. He's not a pastry chef. So,
And I would
yeah.
have, to be honest, when I first heard that, I was like, oh, that's kind of smart. That's cool. Except it's not because it burns really easy. And like Wiley Dufresne's like, yep, rookie mistake. I've done that. We did that with donuts. So I'm like already smarter than all of you. Um,
I mean, he's
and
just got a little bit more experience. So,
Spike actually says when they're in the judges' table and they're talking about it all, Spike actually says, where you lost me was on the first bite.
well, I mean, if the first bite is bitter,
Oh, how you
and I
got,
think
there's nothing you can do.
somebody said it was the worst first bite.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do to recover from that. No amount of topping is like, but it's a good dish. You
The
know,
only way to recover from that is if somebody else made something worse.
which obviously Henry did. So
Exactly.
good for Cesar. And I'm glad because I like him, and I think he fucked up today, but I think he's got more potential than this. I think he made a couple like dumb mistakes with the quickfire in this. But then let's talk about the Fugazi. Forget about it. Fugazzini Argentine pizza with the milk, whatever, milky and soft and undercooked.
Fugazzetta.
Fugazzetta. I bet it's really good.
Yeah.
I bet it's really
Not as
good.
a pizza dough.
But, well, they're saying it's Argentine pizza, and I can feel like that's like it's like, have you ever heard of Flammkuchen?
No.
It's pizza, but it's not pizza. It's German pizza or Swiss pizza or Alsatian pizza. You get it in Alsace a lot, and it's like pizza. It's like a flat bread. It's like a flat bread. It's like a flat bread with toppings on it, kind of like a pizza, but not all crusty and risen like a pizza. So there might be something in this Argentine style pizza. It's just that Paula didn't deliver it.
It was poorly executed.
Yeah. Too much stuff, murky chimichurri. In the end, she's really still here, just dragging along the bottom like a stuck anchor. It's just,
Yeah.
Every time when you think, oh, it's going to be her finally, someone else fucks up more.
Now, I was disappointed in Bailey. Chicken parm inspired pizza.
I must be the only fucking guy in the world that doesn't give a shit about chicken parm.
I mean, it's good. I like chicken parm. I actually made it for dinner last Sunday. But is that out of the box when thinking about pizza? Is that a conversation that you're going to be like, wow, chicken parm on pizza?
No.
You're not going to fucking win with that.
No, you're not going to win with that. That's a good call. I'm sure it was great. I'm sure it was like really great
I don't
flavor.
think she was into the challenge. Her heart was not in this.
I feel you. Yeah, she did she have, no, she didn't have immunity.
No, but I think the quick fire put her in a bad place when they were like, oh, I didn't get guacamole from this because avocado was the star. I mean, I understand how that might fuck with your,
Sure. Yeah.
whatever, but chicken parm inspired pizza, it's just not exciting.
I agree. I fully agree.
I would eat it, but it's not a winning dish.
You'd eat it. You'd eat it if it was something that someone else ordered, but I wouldn't order it.
No, I probably wouldn't order that either.
But then I'm not the guy that orders a chicken parm. Like, it's one of those pub food things in Australia. Like, every pub that serves food is going to have a chicken parm, or maybe even a couple of different varieties of chicken parmy. And it's like a certain person that gets it every time.
Yeah, and it's not something that I order in a restaurant.
Yeah, it's a great make at home. It's a fantastic crack that out on a Sunday afternoon, or crack it out for the fam, for sure.
My thing was I'm trying to think more about using a lot of the ingredients that I already have, because food waste is something I'm trying to do less of. I had chicken cutlets in the freezer that were already thinly cut. I had basically everything. The only thing that I needed to buy was fresh mozzarella. So
what a hardship.
I know, right? So when I was thinking about, what am I going to make for dinners and stuff this week? That's why Sunday I was like, I'll make chicken parm because I've got
I
all the
can.
stuff
Yeah.
and, just got to get mozzarella.
If
So
you were like, I'm having Tom Colicchio, Wiley Dufresne,
I would
Spike
not make
Mendelsohn,
chicken parm
Gail
for them.
Simmons, and the nicest hair in Canada over for dinner, are you making chicken parm? You fucking not. You fucking not. You're going to push it out a bit. So speaking of the mistress of the middle and the, well, we weren't speaking of the mistress of the middle, but now
But
I'm
let's
bringing
speak of
up
the
the
mistress in
mistress,
the middle.
yeah, the mistress of the middle, the perennial, uh, under the radar, not doing very much, but still super likable,
Lana.
Lana. Actually, Lana and Massimo, to be honest with you. Like, Massimo's done things that sound great, but are pretty like, whatever.
When they called the winners, when they said, here are the winners and everybody else was on the side, he was
Pretty, pretty dark about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
he was not
yeah.
thrilled. He was like,
No,
I should
agreed.
be I should
Agreed.
be there.
Agreed. But again, he makes what seems like a good pizza. Spike says this is the largest bubble we've seen.
Yeah, so his whole thing about stretching the dough instead of rolling it out, I get, but I mean, I worked at a pizza place when I was 14, and it wasn't exactly a great pizza place. We had a machine that you put the dough in, and
yeah.
it just, you put it in one way and then you put it in the other way and it was round and you put it in the pan.
Yeah.
So
we had a pizza revolution in Sydney. Actually, my mate Will, who's here, he worked at the spot. It was called Pizza Ibera. It was like the return of Italian pizza that was really actually good, this kind of pizza. And it was amazing for sure. But it just, the fermented parsley paste, that's intriguing. I kind of want to find out more about that, but haven't. Potatoes, mussels, and clams sounds like it's good, but I feel what Gail is saying when she's like, yeah, but the potatoes are a bit under, which means that they're just going to be sitting on the top like an afterthought in a way that's not really like it's.
I think that he just mandolined the potatoes and put them on.
Yes, he
if
did
he
not cook them
cooked them a
separately.
little bit first. That might have been a better thing.
In the oil or whatever. So yeah, look, Massimo is in the middle. He's been in the middle almost the entire time, despite his win last week, which wasn't really a win. It was kind of a backhander because the other two guys got the best dishes on the other team.
Mm-hmm.
Lana and Massimo are the most developed, likable characters in the show almost. And neither of them have been particularly exciting or particularly bad. They haven't ended up on the bottom. They haven't ended up really on like Massimo maybe a little bit more, but Lana she just continues to do nothing good.
Nothing great.
Nothing great. Okay, fair.
And,
fair.
I do think that she had some good ideas here. The honey nut squash sauce, tamarind barbecue oxtails.
That sounded great. The tamarind barbecue oxtail, I'm fucking into that. The thing,
but
she fucked up with the squash.
Yeah.
I've made that puree before. Like, I've tried to do exactly the sort of thing that she's doing. Mm-hmm. Maybe not on a pizza, but like a butternut puree that should be creamy and sweet and savory and perfect, but it ends up fibrous and dry.
Yeah, agreed. And I also think that the sweetness of the honey nut squash with the sweetness of the tamarind barbecue, it was sweet on sweet. Yeah, so there should have been something a little bit more savory to even that out a bit, besides just the buttermilk dressing and the plantain chips.
Right, well, we've dealt with the bottom. We've dealt with the rest. Now let's speak about the top. I want to talk about Vinny first. What were your vibes on Vinny?
Once again, Vinny's not making his own food.
You have the same, mate. We have the same, we saw the same things.
It was his brother's idea.
Yeah, I know, right?
He actually told his brother, that's fucking stupid. And then he makes it in the top. So where are your ideas, Vinny? I want to see what you've got going on.
Like, he even went through the whole, like, the producers gave it to us. He gave it to us. Everyone, Tristan gives it to us. Bro, cook you, do you, flex yourself. And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then he cries about the guy, the dead guy. And then he goes and makes his brother's pizza. Fuck, dude. Still, Reuben pizza. Fucking great idea.
I hate Thousand Island dressing. I think it's fucking disgusting.
You are not going to like this pizza.
No, but I do love a Reuben as long as you don't put it on there.
Mm,
As long as you do it without the dressing, I love Reubens
what
because
about
I
an
love
In-N-Out burger?
sauerkraut. I'm
Does
sorry?
that mean you can't fuck with an In-N-Out burger?
I hate Thousand Island dressing. It's
Mm,
nasty.
mm,
I don't eat Big Macs.
mm. I mean, I don't eat a Big Mac either. I don't really
Yeah.
eat In-N-Out burger
And
because
honestly, I think that I've had In-N-Out once and just had it without that on it. And I'm like, really? Like
it's the
this?
dressing. No, no, In-N-Out is what makes the dress. The In-N-Out, it's the only thing that's good about that whole fucking thing is the Thousand Island dressing. Like everything else about it, it's not that good. The chips are shit. I think
Yeah.
In-N-Out's.
Yeah.
I,
The fries were kind of like limp and yeah,
I'll
I
put
don't know. I was
In-N-Out.
in I was in California and somebody was like, "We gotta have In-N-Out."
Gotta
I
have
was like,
In-N-Out,
"Okay,"
man.
and we went. I'm like, I'm not impressed."
I'd rather just have the out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't love it. People can't love it here. Like it's like a whole thing, sort of, but I don't jazz it. I put In-N-Out and Chick-fil-A and Chipotle all in the same what's the hype basket.
kind of just
Yeah, why does
overhyped.
everyone
Yeah,
love it?
for
I don't
sure.
see it. So, Vinny was never going to win with this. It was good, but it wasn't good enough. It lands, but, again, Schwei and Tristan obviously step above. So going up the ladder,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
like,
Schweiz looked really good.
agreed. Agreed. And
Melty
it's
cheese
like,
on that scallion pancake. I think that's a fucking fantastic idea. I
couldn't
was
say it
thinking
better
maybe
myself.
I might do that soon with like some pork on it, like some like slow cooked shredded
Yeah, like
pork
a pulled
butt.
pork or whatever. Yeah,
Hmm.
like a sort of sweet pulled pork barbecue type thing. Yeah, that'd be fucking great. The nice thing, again, I think what he did was clever here too, because that cumin lamb, mozzarella and the herbaceous salad, those things are gonna go good on a pizza. Take the
Yeah,
scallion pancake away; those things are gonna be an
it's still gonna
interesting
be a
combo
fucking
on
good
a pizza.
pizza.
And
Yeah.
but maybe enough of a boat push. Like it's a cumin lamb pizza. That's unusual. Cool. But then to do it with a scallion pancake, it's super smart because I think Tom says exactly this. He's playing to his strengths. It's a pizza. It works for the challenge. It follows the rules. It does what it's supposed to do. It looks great. Scallion pancakes, did we already talk about them?
Yeah, because he made them before, and I've never successfully made
No,
scallion
that's what we talked
pancakes.
about. Yeah, because I've never made
Um,
successfully made
I
scallion
I
pancakes.
have made some really good kimchi pancakes. And I can just honestly, it's so easy to buy the frozen scallion pancakes at
Yeah,
H
agreed.
Mart,
Yeah,
and
same.
yeah,
Yeah, we're on the same
um,
boat there.
it was a great idea. And he said, "I'm not good at making doughs, but I am good at making scallion pancakes." So
Smart dude.
yeah, it was a really smart idea.
And then Trizzy with the llama tune. So this is. I used to live in the the Turkish. I used to live in the Turkish part of London,
Uh-huh.
like the little Turkish enclave, which was great for us because my wife's Greek, and it sort of, although there's some friction there, there's also a lot of food overlap. But the one place that we would go to a lot, mate, they did this exact thing, not with the pickled grapes, but like with the spicy lamb mince, and banana peppers and onions.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Fuck. It's just a different texture. It doesn't have that fluffy rise that pizza has. Um, it's it's got that real thin flatbread sort of thing, but it's reminiscent of the real thin New York style pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Um, without the bubbly crust. So I think he did a fucking great job of this. Obviously, he of all of them, he's the one that really hits the challenge in terms of a conversation, controversy, anchovy ranch. Hey, do you like anchovies on pizza? Mostly people say, fuck no, I hate those hairy little fish. Uh, I personally love the anchovy whenever I can get him.
If it's on a pizza, I can eat it, but
Like cooked on.
yeah, I just don't like it in some other applications. But I would definitely try this. It sounded, it sounded good, and I'm usually up for trying most things at least once. Um,
Yeah, I think the ranch is killer. I think that doing that is a real clever addition to this pizza.
mhm.
It's the way this is. It's dippable. It sort of all makes sense in that way. And again, Tristan takes the cake. I think he's the one that is at the moment obviously reaching into his skill set, education, and experience to bring innovation to Top Chef better than anyone else. He's like, seems to be the one who is the best at interpreting the challenge so far, where he's like, okay, I can do this, 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 and this, and put that together this way, and boom.
Yeah, he can make it to the end. He can win this.
Sure, agreed.
You
Fully
know,
agreed.
Paula cannot win this. Vinny, I don't think he can win this. Tristan can fucking win this.
Tristan can win it. I think Schwei could win it. I think Cesar could win it.
Yeah. But I
I
mean,
think Massimo will not.
I've been kind of saying since the beginning, Tristan, so I'm really excited to see.
That's still the call. Yep.
Yeah. And just every week I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. I never would have thought of that. So, yeah.
So we're down to, with Henry getting obviously Tristan getting the win. Yep. Sick. He's got the last immunity of the season, which is.
He'll have it for Restaurant Wars.
Very handy for the old Restaurant Wars.
Yeah.
Assuming that it is Restaurant Wars.
It is.
It is. I actually didn't end up watching all the way through to the preview of next week. Huh.
Well, they're down to 8.
Right. So it's got to be. Yeah, it's got to.
Yeah.
If they do Restaurant Wars, which they are, which they're going to. Because it's everyone's favourite episode. Yeah, we'll see. I think that'll be a nice shake-up. But for real, like, Henry's gone. Okay, I think Cesar absolutely dodged a big old bullet because I think he's genuinely better than this. I think he just made a pretty rookie mistake on the dough.
I think Paula dodged a fucking bullet here too.
Mate, she's been dodging bullets for fucking 6 episodes.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I was kind of sad for Cesar that he was on the bottom. Hopefully that's not something that will happen again.
Roger. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, again, I'm quietly confident that he'll rally. Just a puddle of cheese and sauce is what Gail referred to Paula's pizza as.
Yeah.
Wow. Henry's wasn't actually a pizza, and so he lost. So there you go. But,
Cesar's pizza was the worst for first bite. Paula's pizza, fucking raw dough. But they were pizza.
Right.
Henry didn't make pizza.
Was a round tartar. Yeah. So again, nothing really out of the ordinary here. But if we're looking at that middle, I think Bailey's got the chops to keep going. Again, I don't know if she'll win, but I really feel like she came back from Last Chance Kitchen with a real energy. I agree with you that she didn't maybe pour all of that energy. She kind of checked out after the avocado, but not so much that she was ever going to lose.
Agreed.
On this. Like, she's like, I'm making chicken parma pizza. Okay, fine, whatever. She went through a whole big thing saying, I don't make pizza. I have people make pizza for me.
It was a little snotty.
It was a little snotty, and but whatever. She's like a young millennial chick with great hair. She can kind of get away with.
There's a lot of things that I don't make, but if you go on Top Chef and they say fucking make this, then you put a smile on your face and you make it. I mean, this is literally what you signed up for.
Or, yeah, like, I think the pizza, like, shit like that, like, you need to be able to make a risen dough of any variety a yeast dough, if you're coming on Top Chef. You need to be able to be confident with that, because there's going to come a time when you have to make that. Like, you have to make dinner rolls, or you have to make something like that. Maybe not, but, it's there. So there's a few things, like, make sure you can cut up bits of meat. Like, make, all of the basic 22 seasons of Top Chef stuff.
Make
Like,
sure you have a couple of desserts in your back pocket. There are
right.
certain things that you've got to be able to do, and you've got to be able to do them well.
So, yeah, I feel like obviously in that middle to bottom section, I feel like we really have Paola, Bailey, Lana, and Massimo. And one of those guys I think is gonna go home next.
I think so too. I will say I I love when Massimo gets relaxed. Like they go to the stew room or the porch that they had on the property. He's the first one to say, "Let's have drinks." And
He
then
does like a
I
whole
thought,
poetic thing about how beautifully we're in paradise.
yeah, I love it when he does that kind of thing. It's surprising to see someone who's like so loud in the kitchen go, every now and then our career brings us to beautiful places. And
Yeah, I
and
mean,
that's true, and it's reflective.
and I'm
And
just
I
gonna put
like
this out
when
there.
people are reflective.
I'm gonna put this out there. Despite not having really won anything, Lana, and despite not having really won very much, Massimo, they are probably the two most interesting personalities
Hmm.
in the show. Like they're the most sort of, oh yeah, tell me more about them kind of people. Um, I think they're the most likable in a way. Not that, Tristan and Bailey and all those guys aren't, but there's just Lana and Massimo both are so camera friendly. Like they're so
Massimo's a good
trained for TV.
character.
Yeah.
I don't know that he doesn't come off as the most likable because he can certainly be
It's abrasive.
abrasive.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for
I
sure.
think he's got a couple of different personalities happening. He's definitely abrasive in the kitchen, but then when they're just, in the stew, relaxing a little bit after the challenge, he's the one to say, "You worked your ass off. You did really good. Let's have a drink. We go to beautiful places." He's very positive when he's not in the kitchen.
For sure.
And I
For
and I
sure.
like that about him.
Yep.
Um so yeah, I'm interested to see what happens next.
Do you wonder if maybe the production decisions are taking that fact into consideration? Like, they do. You never know how much of those decisions are made based on, yes, but we can't send Massimo home, or we can't send Paola home, or we can't send Lana home because
Have you
we've got to send.
disagreed with any of the eliminations?
Have I
Yeah.
so far? No. No, to be fair, not at all. Um, yeah, not at all.
Yeah. So
And
there
there's
you have
nothing
it.
that Lana's cooked where I'm like, fuck, you deserve to be on the bottom for that. It's all like, fuck, that is fully 6.5 out of 10.
Exactly. Yeah. So I am sure that Tom certainly has more sway than anybody else. There are probably off-camera producers who have, a say in it, but no, I haven't
You think
disagreed
it's, yeah,
with any
yep.
of the decisions that have been made. Even though, like we said, Paola, her pizza was raw. Cesar was bitter, the worst first bite. Henry didn't make pizza, and that was the fucking brief. So, yeah, it was the right decision.
Yep. All right. Well, that's the show. I think it was a good show. Again, to me, this wasn't the most exciting of the episodes in the end. Like, it didn't jazz me the way that, the maybe the last one or even the one before did. But this is one of those middle season moments where, the next step gets taken and you're like, yep, it's all sort of shaking out into the ranking that you would expect.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I am excited for Restaurant Wars. We'll see. Again, they mentioned in all of the preseason stuff that they were going to fuck with it, like that it was going to be different for Restaurant Wars this time. I don't
Yeah,
know
we'll
what that
see.
ends up
But I
meaning.
mean, in the next time on Top Chef, there's 8 people. They have restaurant wars. Maybe do they normally have someone who has immunity for restaurant wars? I don't know.
Yeah, I
I don't
don't
know
know either.
if that's a thing. Um, yeah, I would still really like to see Vinny do something original. Um, but yeah, he's going mid for me. Paula is mid,
I
and you're
don't want
right.
this to sound nasty. I don't want this to sound nasty because I want everybody to achieve their dreams. And she's not a Muppet. Like, she's on Top Chef. But because she's on Top Chef, I'm going to judge her harshly. I just want her to go home now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, she's like you said, you had to be a good chef to get, I mean, to get on it. And not just a good chef, but you've got to
You got to have
really
something. You got to have something.
you've got to have some kind of personality. You've got to really bring something special to the table because there are probably tens of thousands of chefs who apply every single fucking season.
With impressive resumes and
Exactly.
impressive offerings. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So to get on it, you've got to have something special. Plus, you've got to have the personality, maybe even having a story. Um, but she's she's not doing a whole lot for. I'm not excited by her.
No. No.
So, yeah.
I hate to say this. I'm not that excited by Tristan either. It seems like he's doing the right things. And it seems like he's making the smart decisions. And at least episode 7 coming up, with 20 to go, with another 7 to go or whatever, or more. But I don't know. I feel like he's not reminding me of, like, do you know when the season with Buddha? Nothing
Yeah.
really that Buddha made me go, fuck, that's just blown me away. Apart from, like, it looks amazing, it sounds pretty good, but nothing. I felt cold. I never really like got on the Buddha train. It could be because I'm
Didn't
Aussie.
I didn't warm up to Buddha until the World All Stars.
Sure,
And
yeah,
then
yeah, for sure.
I feel like he was like, okay, I've won Top Chef once.
Now I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. And there was a moment in his season, the
Houston
the
season,
US
right?
season, yeah, the
Yeah.
Houston season, where in the finale, there was a moment where they set down all the food in front of the chefs, and Gail turned to the person who was sitting next to her, and you could see her mouth, what the fuck? Because it was just so fucking impressive,
Yeah.
you know? So I thought that was he did do some impressive things, but yeah, I didn't love his personality until World All Stars, and I thought that
Whereas
was
I
pretty
definitely like
special.
Tristan's personality. I thought the call out on Vinny this episode was like you said, it was like firmly gentle. It was like exactly the right tone and like, bro, pull your head out your ass, but not in a bro, pull your head out your ass kind of way. Which
Yeah,
is
it was as nice as he could have done it, and it was the right thing to say. It was on point, you know. And then Vinny makes the pizza that his brother makes.
bro, yeah. Ah, well. Anyway, so yeah, it all shook out. I am a bit sad to see Henry go because I liked him, but the guy couldn't pivot. Obviously, he couldn't. He kind of crumbled under pressure a couple times, and that's going to get you every time in the old Top Chef. And obviously, he couldn't. He couldn't match it in the Last Chance Kitchen either. I wasn't jazzed by this Last Chance Kitchen. I couldn't really concentrate on it. I didn't give a fuck.
Agreed. I watched like 3 times, and I kept like
Yep.
scrolling Reddit on my
Yep.
phone. I was not excited at all. Tom called it a dough over. Um, Henry tried to make a wonton. Henry did make a wonton. Henry's mistake was putting that broth in. If he had just left it with the chive, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
he probably would have done better.
Yep. Yep.
And Katiana's, it didn't excite me either.
No, but I feel like I feel like at least Cardiana is on the redemption arc. Like, she's got the
Sure.
personal energy to be like, fuck you, I'm going to tear your throat out. Kind of vibe. Which is great. Let's go. So I want her to, I don't care who gets eliminated. I want her to be back in through that. She's my pick for Last Chance Kitchen.
Yeah.
I feel like she was eliminated on a dumb fuck up with the stupid porridge, and yeah, I want to see her back in. But it's interesting that you felt the same way. I thought that might have just been me, and the week that I'd had affecting my capacity to enjoy Last Chance Kitchen. But it's good to know that it wasn't just me. Yeah.
Yep, I literally watched it twice last night and could not pay attention to Last Chance Kitchen. I watched it again this morning so that I could take my notes. And this is the least amount of notes that I've taken for a Last Chance Kitchen this season.
It's wild. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, it's good to know. It's not just me that didn't gel with it. Cool.
Not great.
Mate, I think, I don't know about you, but that's pretty much my takeaways for the show, for this week's show.
Next week we get Restaurant Wars, but for now I think time's up, hands up, utensils down.
All right, Scallops.
Bye, Scallops.
Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye, Scallops. Okay.